Hail and well met. Welcome to the Dungeon Scrawlers playing Isekai Realms. That's the name of our campaign where we play ourselves sucked into the Forgotten Realms in the year 1372, 1373, 1372. Excellent. We established that. Well, when we arrived, we had no idea where we were. We still have very little idea where we are, but we're getting our bearings gradually. I am Eric Scott V, often a DM on this stream. And writer, game designer, and I have a Kickstarter for a novel that's coming out on Friday, or rather, the Kickstarter is launching on Friday, although you can get in early if you go to the link that will pop up when you put in !justice, the word justice. And it's called Libations for the Dead. It's about my Lady Vengeance character and her colleagues. It is a superhero novel. Kind of like your modern superhero sort of. It explains it better on the Kickstarter. I don't want to take up time. All right, and with that, take it away, Rhiannon.
Hey, I'm Rhiannon Held. I write urban fantasy as Rhiannon Held, and space opera is RZ Held. The last novella in my space opera series is now out. Yay! So if you're a completionist, it is complete, and you can read them all. I will put up a disclaimer that I know about my camera issues, and if I am in another window, perhaps the chat, and I don't notice them, I will be noticing them soon and fixing them, so don't freak out when my camera freaks out. And I have two sponsors to tell you about. Both make dice, awesome in different ways. Norse Foundry specializes in metal dice. When you roll them, it feels like you're skillfully smashing the rigid armor of the monster horde. They offer gaming accessories as well. You can find their store at norsefoundry.com. And Phoenix Dice is named for the creature that rises from the ashes because they use all recycled materials for their dice.
Oh, look at those.
They also have other gaming accessories and dice at phoenixdice.com.
Allie has a cat.
I do.
It's an alley cat.
Hi.
Oh,
I guess that means it's my turn.
It is, yeah.
Hi there. I'm Alexandra Pitchford, or Allie, and this is my cat Cynthia. Hello. And I am an author and game designer and TTRPG streamer. And well, you can usually find me on Twitter at Lexi Phoenix. I have a Patreon, patreon.com/Alexandra Pitchford. And today I want to tell you about one of our other sponsors, which would be Idle Champions of Forgotten Realms. Idle Champions is a strategy game that unites iconic D&D characters from novels, campaigns, and popular shows into one epic adventure, including Farida from the Brimstone Angel novels. Brain went blank all of a sudden. All right, I'm good. The game is available for PC and Mac on Steam and web, Epic Game Store, Google Play, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, iPad, iPhone, and on all Android devices. And it's still midwinter this week, so if you want to get the character Fen from the Black Dice Society, I definitely suggest checking that out. So for more information, do check out idlechampions.com.
Hello, everybody. I'm Joel Everett. I'm usually one of your mods cutting up in the chat as Rumpus Imperator, and I am here playing myself. Randy?
Hi, I'm Randy. I'm playing me. I'm a member of the Dungeon Scholars and author, and just filling awkward silence till Chris steps in.
Oh, there you go.
It's the bard, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway.
I'll sing you a song.
Yeah.
Waiting for Chris. Waiting for Chris. Yeah.
That helps me. That really does, Brandy. I appreciate that. Or Randonius, as I should call you. All right. So, yes, I'm Chris, your humble dungeon master. Well, I'm your dungeon master. And you'll note that there have been some changes underneath the names and to the names of some of our characters here this evening. Some of them have taken names, some of them have had names given to them since their appearance in the realms. And we had a discussion in the Hangout before tonight's game about character classes. And so you'll see that we've made our best guesses about where they might be starting out their adventure on Toril. In what state. We have someone who actually managed to be a second level character to start with, which is a rare achievement in my game. So you will die last. Just as a piece of good
Yay?
news, or bad, depending upon your circumstances. But anyway, so pay attention to that and let us know what you think about what the changes that have occurred. All the question marks have gone away. In terms of where we left our heroes, if you recall from our last game session, we left the woods around Redansir, passed through a portal atop a giant rock in those woods, and found ourselves under the sewers of Westgate, late on Midsummer's Eve, before Midsummer Festival Day. There was a conversation that occurred between Eric and his sponsor, for want of a
Apparently.
better term. And he has been given a great responsibility, along with what he has done on his own, to acquire a sword of some importance. There have also been internal conversations underway between Rhiannon, Ali, and aspects of the Mark, which we'll probably hear a bit more about in the not so distant future. So exactly what was happening before we last left was the players had moved from atop that rock into an ancient temple, abandoned temple, ruined temple under the sewers of Westgate. They were huddled amongst themselves discussing their recent developments, and Oldor and May, the two NPCs that they picked up in the town of Redansir, or who picked them up in the town of Redansir, depending upon their perspective, were attempting to exit the chamber through a hole in the ceiling, rubble and a fallen pillar leading to that hole in the ceiling, to get into the sewers to be able to move into the city of Westgate. Oldor had pushed half of his body through it and was trying to orient himself up there. And on the ground below him, maybe 20, 30 feet, May was calling up to him. They were exchanging information. And then with a scream, he was pulled bodily through that hole into the beyond. So that is where we pick up.
Well,
May
he's
will
fine.
scream and begin trying to scramble up the pillar after Oldor. What would all of you like to do?
Do we still hear him
May,
screaming?
no,
Yes.
stop, May, stop.
Nope, don't like that. Don't like that.
Okay, so Randy will attempt to get May to stop.
Yeah.
She'll throw a panicked glance over her shoulder at you, perhaps to see why you're trying to say that, but her limbs are still moving and she's pretty dexterous. So she's making her way up that pillar.
I will scramble up the pillar, try just to grab her ankle and sort of like,
Pull her
stop
down?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, or at least, yeah, stop her from. I don't want her to like fall and get,
Hurt.
fall damage. Yeah.
Baby check. Who's
Yes.
holding?
Oh, yes. The babes were in the hands, one of Rhiannon, one of Randy. I think you had come up with some names for them potentially at the end of the last session.
Yeah.
So I don't know who's holding who,
I forgot about the
but I
baby.
know one. And Rhiannon, you were being the DM's helper. Thank you very much. Randy, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to hand off that baby.
Yeah,
first.
I'll hand off the baby, whoever I'm passing as I'm running to.
Teacher,
May.
you forgot homework.
Yeah, yes. Thank you. Eric?
Oh man.
I'm holding a big glowing sword, so maybe don't hand me the baby.
But you and your big glowing sword are happy down here on the ground?
No, we're obviously going to go after whatever the hell that thing was.
Yeah, I'm
I'm going to
stick
try
with
and
Eric.
climb that pillar.
Yep.
Okay. So we'll
Yep.
go around the room. Randy sprang into action first and went dodging over in the direction of May, trying to make her way up the pillar. He hands off the babe to. It's
am I
not going to
passing? Joe? No. Allie?
Allie,
No.
will you take the babe
Rhiannon?
that was offered
Other
to you?
arm?
I mean, I was gonna try to help Eric, but
Okay.
No.
I
So
would- like
I'll
I
set the
don't
baby on the
honestly
ground if
have
I
a
need to. It just to,
problem
like,
with like being the one who stays behind and like holds the babies rather than like attack, because I don't see that I'm
yeah, I'm
gonna
not,
accomplish much by attacking. So
yeah.
Okay.
I'm definitely not attacking. I'm just trying to stop May from getting herself killed.
So Randy will with Rhiannon, figure out what to do with the babe, which will slow you down a smidge. She's about halfway up the pillar at this point. It's about 30 feet. She's about 15 feet the way up it. As I said, fairly nimble.
We're not going to stop her.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
No.
Eric
Even if we
is-
wanted to, I don't think we can.
Eric
As
is hot on her
Rhiannon-
heels. Is that correct, Eric?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Rhiannon.
I was gonna say, like, as Randy's like shoving a baby at me, I'm gonna say, like, I think May's the one who is best like equipped to deal with this of all of us.
But she also said she was out of spells.
No, true.
So
Okay.
So
Um,
now Joel is the best equipped out of all of us to deal with this.
Well,
I'm
Joel
not the
has
one
a-
holding Vindicator, but yes, okay. Let's pull. Let's go up the. Let's go
Sure.
up to the hole and see what I can see.
All right, so here's what I've got going on. I have Eric trying to follow May up the pillar.
Right.
Eric, if you could kindly roll percentile dice for me.
Uh-oh. All right,
Uh-oh.
here we go. That would be 16.
Okay, that's an excellent piece of news because even as a regular human, you've got a 40% chance to shimmy your way up that pile of rubble. And so you will begin sort of probably by looking to see where she's placing her feet, following her up.
Mhm.
She's got about a 15-foot head start on you, but you won't be that far behind her. Randy, you'll get to the base of the pillar and realize that now Eric's in your way, trying to stop her getting up there. So
Yeah.
there's no grabbing her. I mean, maybe you could huzzer rocket her and hope to knock her off, but that might not be the best approach. And Joel, did you say you wanted to follow Eric?
I am. Though if I get there and he is still close, still low enough, I will instead let him either stand on my shoulders or my hands to help boost him up until he's clear.
Okay, so you will do what you can to assist him climbing, and then he will begin to climb.
And then once he's out of reach, follow him up.
Got it.
Yes.
Rhiannon, you're comfortable on the ground down here. Okay. Allie, how about you?
I had intended to also follow up.
Okay. So you're a hair's breadth. If you'd like, you can attempt to maneuver past Joel as he's helping Eric, or you can wait sort of your turn in line,
Well,
depending upon how you perceive that.
Urgency being kind of key here. I feel like I think I would try to kind of maneuver around.
All right. Roll percentile dice for me if you would.
All right.
Now you are a first level thief, so that gives you a 60% chance of success. At least.
I got 8.
All right, that's even better than a 16. And so you will, surprising even yourself with your nimbleness, manage to maneuver around those two as they're boosting themselves up and scamper behind her. So it's her, you about 10 feet behind her, Eric about 15 feet behind her. So I'll
Okay.
come back to the rest of you on the ground in a minute.
All right.
There is a growling coming from the other side of that hole. Those of you on the pillar can hear it now. Oldor is still sort of screaming, but it's kind of choking off a little bit. And May is reaching the top to make her way through the hole. As she gets to the top, she pauses for an instant, snaps her 2 fingers together, and a small globe, no bigger than a 20-sided die, of jade green light appears in her palm, lighting the area immediately around her. That'll slow her down a smidge and allow you, Allie, to catch up with her if you'd like.
All right. Yeah. I'll keep going and catch up.
Same with you, Eric?
Yeah.
Okay, and Joel, you're now mounting the pillar. Do you guys have any concern that maybe you've got several hundred pounds on this pillar at the moment, or is that not really a problem?
Apparently not.
Okay, fair enough. Apparently not, it is.
Me and Joel might have thought of it.
Does the pillar swaying at all before I climb?
No, it looks,
Okay.
looks solid. Looks like a solid pile of rubble. It's a totally solid pile.
Solid pile of rubble.
Joe, why
Okay.
don't you roll percentile dice for me, and I'm going to roll a crazy, let's see if the pillar collapses roll.
0-3.
Pillar did not collapse, didn't even sway. So great news. Okay, so you guys are like trying to compete with each other for best role of best climber. We should set the next adventure on K2, and you're now scampering up behind them. She'll pause for a moment, Allie, and then just sort of roll through that opening. Oldor sort of had to climb through it. She's small enough comparative to Oldor that all she needs to do is pull herself through and roll to get into the sort of like passageway beyond. Would you care to follow her?
You know what? Yeah, sure.
All right. Do you want to attempt something nimble, or are you content to just push yourself through that hole?
I can try, but I'm also well aware that I am 6 feet tall. So
Okay, so no, let's not do anything crazy. Let's just comfortably get through the hole. All right.
yeah.
So when you do that, you don't have to roll. That's the great news. You can now see into the room beyond. It's a passageway, I guess I would describe it.
Mhm.
Probably about 8 feet tall by about maybe 8 feet wide, rough hewn. So a natural passageway. It wasn't crafted at any point, sloping slightly up. It runs north to south. And in the direction of the north from where you are, on the ground is a crumpled form. Over that form on the ground is a thing out of nightmares, which I will describe to you in slightly greater detail in a moment. The only light in here that really allows you to see it is the faint light that's coming from the palm of her hand, as she has whatever she's conjured to provide her with a little bit of light. That's 5 foot radius clear light, but gets the 12 feet away that this thing is so that you can see it. And it also happens to have like reflective glowing red eyes. It was a man once, maybe a fisherman from at least some of what it was wearing, but its clothing is torn into tatters and it's wearing the remains of its own burial shroud. Its hair is wild. Its eyes are wild pits of redness. It's fanged, and its fangs are dripping with Oldor's blood because it's atop him like a wild animal savaging at his neck. He is whimpering in the fetal position with it half atop him. It doesn't seem to care that you've come up here, doesn't seem to care that May has come up here. Eric is right behind you. Do you want to do something or wait for him?
Well, I'm like half through the hole, right?
That was you coming through.
That was coming through. Okay. I'm going to I'm gonna have my weapon out. I'm gonna step up next to, was it May?
May. Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna step up next to her and I'm just gonna be like very quietly, hand on the shoulder, and just shake my head for a moment.
Don't go in there. No, don't go in there.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. So you'll put she looks panicked. She's trying to figure out what to do. And you'll put your hand on her shoulder. She'll almost leap out of her skin when you do that. And she'll say, my magic is spent. What is that thing?
Some kind of like very, very like pitching my voice low, just like some kind of feral vampire. I don't know.
Okay. She'll look panicked when you say the word vampire. Eric, that brings you through the hole. Tell us about your emergence from the hole, Eric.
Well, I'm 6'7", so I through the hole. The sword's glowing, right?
Sword leading or sword trailing?
Sword leading.
Okay, so your sword, if I recall correctly, drips silver fire, does it not?
Correct.
Okay, it may not be silver fire, but it
Right.
looks like it for all intents and purposes.
Mhm,
Okay,
mhm.
so you're leading with that, which will immediately throw a little bit more light into the area. So, getting everyone's attention in that regard. You'll get a nice clear view of what's going on with Oldor and his new friend. And as your sword comes through and you've pushed enough of yourself through to be able to actually, control where it's going, you'll notice that the creature, for want of a better term, will narrow its eyes and look up in your direction, letting go of Oldor. Do you want to?
Not
do
good.
something there? Eric?
Back, creature of nightmare.
So you want to scramble to your feet and hold the sword as if perhaps it
Oh,
were
yeah.
a cross or something? Is that your plan?
Power of justice compels you.
I see. Excellent. All right. If you could roll a 20-sided die for the power of justice for me.
Oh no.
I literally rolled a 1, Chris.
Okay, fair enough. Literally rolled a 1. It seems unconcerned about the power of justice. It does not give ground, but you'll notice that it is now looking at you.
Oh, okay. Well,
Let's go back into the chamber below for a moment. Joel, you're scrambling up and reaching the top. Now you're still luminescing. And so
Okay.
when you reach the top, your luminescence will sort of go into the chamber above, and you'll now create about a 20-foot radius of light, like sort of warm yellowish light, as you're going to emerge up there. So that's going to change things in the next round. But first, we have both Rhiannon and Randy downstairs. You're, I wouldn't say alone because you have 2 babies with you, but you're down here while the rest of your party seems determined to force their way up there. Do you guys want to do or say something?
We're also in pitch black, I think, because everyone took their lights with them.
You do still have the benefit of the dim luminescence from Joel's light because he has yet to emerge from the hole. And so it's a radius of luminescence. The chamber is only about 60 feet in total diameter. His light is about 30 feet in diameter within it. So it's still dimly lighting the recesses of the chamber and really nicely lighting that pillar up. But yes, when he leaves the room, you're only going to have whatever reflected light is coming from upstairs.
What do you
Well,
want
I
to do?
mean,
Rhiannon?
well, first, expose the mark and like concentrate to see if I can get that to glow.
All right. Yes, you can. It will glow with a light red light, enough to illuminate about 5-foot radius around you.
Develop some photos, you know.
Andy?
I'll look to the babies and look to Rhiannon and be like, I don't want to take the babies into danger, but then I don't want to get left behind either.
Go.
We should go up?
No, you go.
Oh, you want me to leave the baby with you? Okay.
I mean, I can tell that like you really feel like you need to be up there. So
I really don't. I mean, I wanted to stop Mary from going up. I didn't want to go up there. I guess, but everyone else.
why stop May and not like one of us though? I mean, nothing against, you know, the people here, but
No. Like if May was going to go up there alone, I thought she was just going to get snatched up through the hole right after
Oh, okay.
Oldor. But like we got our best fighters, essentially the people who actually know how to fight are all up there. I mean, I'm not trying to like cower down here or anything. I'm just like, I'm not sure what I would add up being up there other than, well, I guess I can be a target. I'll go here, have the baby. I will go up the pillar to potentially act as a diversion.
A human
just-
shield. A human shield, Randy.
Just describe
necessarily a
the bard
shield, but-
experience.
Yeah, to act as a diversion.
All right, fair enough. So I'll have you roll in a moment to scamper up that pillar, you little scamp. But
All right.
meanwhile, up top, we have Allie out of the hole, standing next to May. We have May. You're stunned that you've just told her that there's a vampire chewing on Oldor. Eric, attempting to use the power of Helm to compel it to retreat. It's not retreating, but it is at least not savaging Oldor on the ground. Paying attention to Eric instead. You started 12 feet away, Eric. I assume you stepped forward to at least 10. How close do you want to get?
Yeah, 10.
Like that? Yeah, I'm good. I'm good with that.
Well, I will slowly walk toward it brandishing the sword.
Okay.
Note that I am not brandishing the sword on the stream because Twitch doesn't like it when you brandish weapons on the stream.
All right, good to know. Good to know. I did not know that about Twitch, but then again, I'm not brandishing a lot of weapons, so that hopefully won't be a problem for me. Okay. So you will begin moving toward as if you are attempting to threaten the creature with the weapon.
Yes.
Okay, excellent, excellent.
If
Allie,
the
you
power
wanna-
of justice won't do, the power of great violence will have to do.
There you go. Allie, you want to take any action this round now that you see Eric moving in on the creature?
I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna let Eric stand against this thing by himself. So yes, I'll start moving into like at
Now
least trying
you
to
are
maneuver.
you are armed with a short sword that Eric gave you, correct?
Yes.
This
Could you
short
roll a
sword,
20?
to be
Could you roll
precise.
Could you roll a 20-sided die for me, Allie?
Yes. Rolled an 11.
What do you remember about vampires?
Me specifically.
Yeah,
that-
you specifically.
I'm trying to remember in D&D terms that this is probably not going to be terribly effective against them more than anything.
You have concerns that maybe the
Yeah.
weapon you have is not up to this particular task.
Maybe a little bit.
Okay, just
Allie's
let
over
everyone understand that as you're about to move in and poke at this thing.
Allie's over
But-
there trying to separate D&D and Vampire the Masquerade knowledge. Like,
Yeah. Yeah,
There's
Vampire the
definitely an
Masquerade,
overlap.
vampires use swords against each other a lot.
There you go. Maybe that'll work out. All right. So Joel, you'll simply be coming through the hole this round. Eric,
Okay.
why don't
Yep.
you roll a 10-sided die for me? Allie, why don't
Okay.
you do the same?
is this an initiative thing?
It is. Add 4 to yours, Eric. Allie, add
Okay.
2 to yours.
All right.
I got a total of 5.
Okay, total of 5.
I got 12.
Okay, so you'll be going later. Eric, we're leading off with you. Do you simply wish to threaten the creature, or do you want to attempt to attack it?
Oh, I take a swing at it, definitely.
All right. If you could just roll a 20-sided die for me as you swing in with your flame-dripping blade.
Natural 20, Chris.
That's excellent news. You're going to notice a couple of things. Number one, you're going to notice the open-ended 20 system that I described to you before, which allows you to roll again to see if you can get another natural 20.
That was a 12.
All right, so no. And the second thing that you're going to notice is that before you met Helm's whatever in a place outside of space and time, this sword was exceptionally well balanced. It felt good in your hands, but you still realized, I mean, okay, what do I really know about using a bastard sword? I know it's, the pointy end, et cetera, et cetera. You'll now grasp that somewhere along the way, you've picked up the knowledge of not only how to use a bastard sword, but how to use a bastard sword expertly well. Maybe it's the bastard sword that's figured out how to use you. There's always that possibility. But for whatever reason, you're not just good, you're damn good with this thing now, Eric.
Hey, look at that.
So if you could roll damage for me. Standard against a man-sized creature with a bastard sword, I think it's 2d4, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay.
That'd be 4 and 3. So
All right, so 7 points of base damage just from the weapon alone. Now, just so you can start to keep track of this yourself, you also get the +3 for the weapon.
So it's
So
10.
that's 10. I'm going to give you at least a +1 for a strength bonus because you're a big fella.
I am.
So that's 11. And well, Eric, you're specialized with this bloody thing,
Sweet.
which gives you +2 to damage.
Sweet.
So that's 13 points. You will, spilling the silver dripping fire from this blade, draw a mark across this creature's chest, and it will roll, staggering and smoking back away from Uldor on the ground. It looks surprised that
The
you were
power
able
of
to do
massive
that.
violence.
Compels you. And everyone else in the room is pretty surprised too. It wasn't just the vampire. When that occurs, May will go running for Uldor on the ground. she was going right after you, and she'll just go straight over him and basically throw herself over his body on the ground. You're feeling pretty damn good about yourself, Eric. Pretty damn good. Joel, you saw that. That was pretty impressive.
Pretty
and you
cool.
climbed yourself through the hole. Allie, your 12 is up.
All right. I'm looking at the sword. Like, I just don't. This is not.
That is not trailing silver fire, nor does it seem
No.
like you feel like you really know how to use that thing.
Well, I mean, I've had some training with bladed weapons. I have,
Certainly,
but
certainly, yes.
But yeah, I'm gonna go to May and Uldor and try to like help the two of them, or at least try to like, yeah.
She'll
somehow.
say, "Help me get him back," and she'll start to try to drag him.
Okay, yeah, I'll help with that then, because I can't do anything with this thing. So with the vampire anyway. So I'm gonna like start trying to move Uldor.
Gotcha. All right, so you'll move back towards the hole.
Mhm.
Joel, you're up out of it. Please roll a 20-sided die for me.
15.
You're on your own. What do you want to do? You're casting light at about now a 15-foot radius, so you can see the creature. It's at the edge of your light. It looks wounded and surprised that it was wounded. Eric looks triumphant standing over it with his blade.
Does it seem like it's reacting to my light at all?
It noticed you, but it's more concerned about the fact that Eric just laid it open with a weapon.
Okay. Well, my weapon is currently not magical, so I'm going to rush it and try to grapple the vampire to give Eric a better shot at it next time.
Okay.
Definitely not going to stab Joel. or
Joel,
anything.
could you roll a 20-sided die for me?
9.
What do you know about vampires?
Well, if he turns into mist and runs away, I think we're doing okay. So they drink blood. They don't like garlic. Can't cross running water. I'm trying to remember what the rules are in D&D. It also depends.
Anything special about first or second edition vampires that makes them different from the ones in later editions?
I know that in some demi-human vampires have different vulnerabilities. I don't know. That's.
I'm gonna let you ponder that as we roll into next round. All right, Randy, please roll percentile dice for me.
Okay. Seven.
All right. Again, you guys are competing. We are just going to have a campaign where mountains are climbed every single week. That's what it's going to be from now on. The dungeon mountain
Oh, is that
climber. or something
Good.
like that.
All right.
Yeah, the lower the number, the better when you're rolling percentile dice.
All right,
So,
all right.
okay, so you will again scamper up this rubble pile / pillar, and you'll actually be able to get up it fast enough that you'll see at the end of the round what these
Yeah.
crazy guys are doing up there. So Rhiannon, I'm confident you're reasonably comfortable where you are.
I mean, even if I could climb with 2 babies.
Yeah. I mean, who wants to really?
And
and I'll-
in the case of the inevitable like attack from behind, I do have the shield magic. So
Sudden but inevitable betrayal. Understood. In your mind, as you are looking up in the direction of the hole, and you see Randy.
the
scampering
voice.
up
What is the
into it,
voice thing?
The voice says to you, "I could teach you to burn it with fire."
The monster? Because I'm not here for like burning down this old temple around us. I mean, it's stone, but you never know. Burning things.
Anything really, but I assume that you would probably want to burn whatever is hurting your friend.
Yeah. What's the price here?
Just a bit of your power expended to learn that. And once you've learned it, it's yours.
So it's an opportunity cost. I learn this. I can't learn something else. That's the
There is
Payoff here?
only so much power in the mark.
okay.
Every little bit of it you spend, if you don't have a way to replenish it, is gone, at least for a time.
Is there a way to replenish it that I can find later?
Nothing to
Silence
say
from the
on that
voice.
subject. Nothing to say on that subject.
I mean, if I'm dead before like replenishing time, like there's gonna be nobody to replenish. So I'm gonna thumbs up the fire.
All right, I'll keep that in mind. Okay, so meanwhile, back upstairs, our encounter with Lestat. So Eric, do you wish to continue to pound on that thing with your glowy magic sword that you're so good with?
Yes.
All right, Allie, this round dragging Uldor away, basically to the edge of the hole.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know that one thing that's going to be going through my head, because it's me and I know myself, is that I would be very frustrated that I realize I can't do anything. That feeling of not being able to really help is going to a lot of self-beration, certainly a lot of self-flagellation.
I shall keep that in mind as well.
Hmm.
Randy?
I'm going to stay where I can both still see down the hole to where Rhiannon is and see what's going on ahead of me. Just in case I want to slide down the pillar if she needed aid for some weird reason. I'll be like, hey, vampire creature thing. I'll be like, now we got problems.
This is
sure
not
hope we
pre-horny
can't
bard,
solve
is it?
them. Eric made a real deep cut. That vampire sure wants our blood. Hey!
All right, so a little performance to boost the morale of the group.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, excellent.
Is that what it's supposed to do?
It's certainly boosting our morale here, and that's the key element. Joel,
And I'll go guys, go team.
have you be aggressive, be aggressive. Joel, have you decided that in fact line tackling the vampire is the way to go?
Did I try to do that last round or no?
Yeah, I was asking you, the hole
Okay.
was your, vexation last round. Now you're ready.
Okay, in that case, I will have my sword out and try to move out to flank the vampire to give an attempt to give Eric advantage, but I'm in full defense, just keeping the sword between me and the vampire because I don't think I'm going to be able to hurt it.
All right, sounds entirely fair. All right, so Randy, you don't need to roll initiative because what you're doing, you're just doing. Everybody else, however, with the exception of Rhiannon, who's downstairs bargaining with fire, can please roll a 10-sided die for me. Add 3, Joel, add 3, Allie, and add 4, Eric.
13. Slow this round.
Slow this round. Allie?
8.
8, and Joel, 4, did I see?
5.
5,
Gives me time
okay.
to get into position.
All right, so Joel will actually move first, sort of skirting around the vampire, right? Trying to draw its attention away from you, Eric. It will look in Joel's direction, look back at you, and look over at Joel. Eric, you're trying to move in on it. The way initiative works in the second edition is it's perceived to be not necessarily the precise moment you act, but the moment where you get your best strike, that sort of thing. So you're engaged in combat with it. You just haven't been able to get through its guard as it's eyeing up Joel. Allie, you've dragged Uldor along with May back to the opening, and Randy, you are providing support to the group with your song stylings, which I like, I got to tell you. And so Joel, this is a good news, bad news situation. The good news is you have distracted the vampire. The bad news is you have distracted the vampire. And so it will lunge at you.
Oh, Joel.
Fortunately, the vampire rolled a 3, Joel, which hits even your paltry armor, or which misses even your paltry armor class. But although not by as much as you'd think, it basically leapt off the ground at you, bloodied face and awful corrupted claws, and rebounded off the wall near where you were standing. You'll have a moment of sheer terror, which you will feel the mark clamp down on. Actually, come to think of it, all of you up there are aware that the mark is doing something to suppress your terror. Eric, you've gone beyond terror, buddy. And so you may not even need that anymore. But everybody else seeing this sort of realizes, wow, that's a thing that was eating a person. I should be scared now. Oh, okay, that's good that I'm not. You kept it together though, Joel, and didn't run screaming down the hole uncontrollably. That's a plus.
Well, that'll save on us having to find clean underwear. So that's good.
There you go. It is one of the curses of the inevitable play yourself game. You've got to find clean underwear at some point.
That's right.
You've got to do it. Eric, we're up
Yep.
to you again.
Okay, I'm gonna take a swing at that thing. Is that a Taylor Swift song? Okay,
You bet it, buddy. Go.
I rolled a 12.
All right. So your THAC0, Eric, is base 20, -1 for strength, -1 for specialization, -3 for the weapon. So your THAC0 is
15.
15. You rolled a 12.
12. So I hit
Which means you
AC
hit
3.
AC 3, which is AC vampire. So damage?
Sweet. AC Vampire is my favorite AC to hit in this particular battle.
Yeah, that'd be,
So I got a 3, and I believe that we decided it was +6 total.
Plus 3 for the
Yes.
weapon.
6
yes,
total. So it
six.
should be 9 points of
9
damage.
points. All right. You will lay open another wound dripping with fire, cauterizing as it goes along the ribs of this thing, and it will turn to run.
Oh,
That gives you another attack on it.
great. I will definitely take that other attack on it. I rolled a 19.
All right. So you'll hit yet again. More damage.
Excellent. All right, so 3 and 3. 6 + 6, 12.
All right. It will scamper off howling with pain, trailing like silver flame from the wounds that you've inflicted on it south along the passageway. As its screams die down, you find yourselves alone, sans vampire, in the hole above. What do you wish to do?
I applaud Eric. Well done, sir.
Thanks. Is everyone okay? How's our friend
so-
Allie?
I would be checking that actually. How is he?
Quite ragged looking, actually. May is pawing for a potion in the satchel that she is carrying and attempting to pour it down his throat. He has a ragged, torn wound in his neck from where the vampire was worrying on him. He looks extremely pale, and his hair has gone a little white, almost as if he has been drained of some of his life.
Well, at the very least, I think one thing I will do is I will pull off my jacket and kind of wad it up and just kind of push it against the wounds to at least try to stem the bleeding.
That's an excellent choice. She will whisper a thank you to you as she pours the contents of the potion down his throat and encourages him to drink. Is no one shocked at how good Eric is with that bloody thing?
I'm a little concerned. I'm a little. I noticed.
I don't know
Okay.
his skill, so
Okay. Okay,
impressed.
like I talk a big game, but this is clearly a magical thing, and yes. So,
And yes.
All right.
Okay, yes.
like I know how to use a sword, but this is beyond that.
Not like that. Okay.
Wow.
I'm real good with this thing.
Eric, it's not a lightsaber. Stop it.
Sorry, I have to make the sound. Boom.
I'm still got my hands pressed to this wadded up jacket.
Yeah.
soaking up the blood. And I'm just
That-
Right. Okay.
Really?
I
That
come
jacket,
over.
that jacket is a loss, Allie. That jacket is
Oh,
a
yeah.
loss.
yeah,
Hey,
oh, yeah.
I feel you. I'm not there, but like,
Okay.
I'm sure we're vibing.
Okay.
Yeah.
We
Let's
need to. Did you leave Rhiannon alone down there?
I can see her, and I was just going to say I'm going to slide down the thing so that
Okay. Yeah.
take one of the
uh,
babies so she can join us. Let her
don't
know
split the
everything's
party.
cool.
Hey, Joel, do you know medical stuff?
I know a fair amount of first aid, so let's
Okay.
go ahead and check and see if he's going into shock.
Okay. The good news is that the potion she just poured down his throat sealed that ragged wound. It's
Okay.
scarred, but it's sealed.
Cool.
The bad news is he's taken more than just physical damage. And so he's weak as a kitten. And she is panicked over the fact that she can't seem to make that better. So she'll look up at you, Joel, as you approach and say, we have to get him to help. We have to get him to help.
So he's been level drained. That's
Do you want to say that to her? So he's
what
been
second
level
edition
drained.
vampires-
No.
That's what second edition vampires do. That's
Right.
Or they drain
Yeah.
Constitution, depending
He's-
on whether or not you're in Ravenloft.
I will try
Okay.
to phrase it in a way that isn't couched in mechanical terms that they would not understand.
Well,
We're
okay.
speaking Planeswalker. Okay.
I want to talk to May and reassure her that it's going to be okay while Joel does his thing. So
Okay, so the three
Yeah.
of you will work on her. She'll say, I have a friend. It's the same person that I was going to try to take you to.
okay,
Her house is in town. We have to get there, but
I
I'm going
agree.
to need help moving him.
we're going to help you.
Yeah, we are.
I'm glad you closed that wound. Thinking to myself, I was going to cauterize it with the sword. So I'm glad the potion worked.
He's a killer and a doctor, people. He has everything.
Yeah.
The same tool.
Okay, so
Okay, so
back
we need
down
your
below. Hang on, back down below, we have Randy rejoining Rhiannon. The R's are back together. Team R. The pirate.
Arr.
Okay, so what are you guys going to talk about down there?
Is it dead?
It's Eric. Well, Eric. chased it
No,
away.
it's not dead.
Eric chased it away. He battled it. He was pretty impressive with that sword. I
No,
think
okay.
I think maybe the sword was helping him. I'm not sure, but
Well, I would imagine.
so yeah, but it's safe to go up there. Sounds like we want to get Oldo's not doing great, so I think we want to get him to some help quickly.
Okay. Well, here, have one baby.
thank
I'll
you.
the other one. I
Plus
don't know.
one baby,
I
Randy.
don't know if I'd be
Plus
very
one
good at
baby.
climbing with a baby in arms, but
Please take one baby.
Yeah.
And only one baby per
That's right.
customer. Yes.
One per customer.
Randy, I recall you had a little papoose thing going.
Yeah, I kind
oh,
of
that's
turned
right. Yeah.
my backpack into kind of a papoosey thing, so I'll do that again, and I'll use that to
Why that
we'll
word?
create things. So yeah, we'll do
I
a
don't like
relay
that
where I'll
word.
go up, drop off the baby up there, come down, grab the other one, lay it up there.
Okay. By the
Don't
time
just
you
put it on the floor.
I won't.
by the time you manage to get out of the hole in the ground with the two babies, we've gotten Oldor up sort of on his feet. One of you is going to need to help May, her on one shoulder, one of you on the other. It probably shouldn't be the guy with the glowing sword. So who'd like to be on Oldor duty?
I got it.
All right, Joel,
Fair enough.
you have, like a good officer, you are on Oldor duty. All right, fair enough. So she will say, it's this way. It's about 3 long songs to the sewers and then about another 4 to the surface. Follow me.
Okay,
All
I
right.
will take the lead. Allie, you want to watch our back?
I got it.
Okay.
I will discard the ruined jacket and just leave it there because there's no reason to carry that with me.
Okay, please subtract that from your character sheet.
I will.
Okay.
Can I extinguish the silver flames? Because they're probably going to draw a lot of attention down here.
They seem to come up either when something interesting happens that the sword decides it wants them, or when you decide you want them.
That sounds about right.
And you seem to be able to put them out when there isn't something interesting going on.
Okay.
So
I'll keep the red light going though.
yes, for light, we're relying
Yeah.
on just Rhiannon and the little light that May has brought up.
I think so.
Am I no
I
longer
mean-
glowing?
Once you've moved about 10, 15 feet away from that chamber you were in, it guts out.
Okay.
You
So
think there might be some connection there.
you all can't be nightlights? I mean, that seems like the most easy, easy way to deal with not tripping over our own feet.
I have a really sharp flashlight.
Actually, I
anyone-
mean, that sounded like a joke, but that actually is a question. I am starting to wonder how different our marks are.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, mine just
so-
does a shield thus far.
Is my mark
Okay.
still there?
Yeah,
I'd like to
it's
think my
there.
spirit is a light, but you know, my mark.
Would you like to attempt to luminesce your marks by thought as you had done before?
I'm pretty sure I almost killed myself and the party when I did that last time, so I'll let someone else try this.
All right, fair enough. Anyone else?
I will, and I'll also think like if it could do like one of those cool like slowly shifting color, like red, yellow, green, like a nice pretty like party light kind of effect would be cool.
It starts
Yeah.
out with a sort of silvery light when you light it up.
Okay.
Rhiannon is a ruby red. Allie?
Oh.
Joel?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and see if I can get mine to fluoresce.
You can. It is also that same shade of ruby red that Rhiannon's is. Joel?
I will not attempt to light up. No.
All right. No light from Joel. Randy, you're trying to shift the colors.
Yeah.
You'll discover that you can shift them to that same ruby red if you want. Ruby red, silver, ruby red, silver.
Oh, interesting.
Mhm.
What does that mean then? Like that has me wondering now.
Well, okay. I guess did Eric never told us what Helm told him, right?
Mm.
It hasn't come
He
up yet.
started. He
Oh,
started to talk about it, but then your friend got pulled off into a hole in the ground.
Right. If I start talking about it again, we're gonna get attacked. Let's find
okay.
somewhere safe.
Let's go.
Yeah, and we don't even know that he talked to. Oh no, we did know that he talked to him. Okay, because otherwise, okay. So I don't know. So when you asked me, what does that mean? I don't know. I mean, I thought silver meant like was Helm's color. Like
Not
Because-
necessarily.
no, okay,
No, silver fire.
because it's like your
Silver fire
sword
is
and-
is more commonly associated with Mistra, goddess magic.
Oh,
Mistra Illustrate uses silver fire a lot as well.
Again, I assume one is saying all of these things out loud.
Yeah.
Yes, although
Yeah.
I leaned in to be a
Yeah.
little less obvious.
is
I mean,
red
poor,
associated
poor
with
May
someone?
at this point.
She's fortuitously terrified and focused on saving her friend.
Okay,
So you guys
Yeah.
are no longer the big concern that she has in the world.
I see Winterborn 1-2 has given inspiration to Allie. Thanks for that. We
Aw,
might need
thank
that.
you.
We
Excellent.
will need that.
buy a
You
new
sure will.
jacket.
Yeah, I know, right?
That would be
Time to
bling
replace
bling.
the wardrobe.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, go ahead, Eric. You were about to say something.
Nope, we're good.
Okay, so then we are moving along through the underground chambers. After about 15 minutes, gradually sloping up, curving around, you will begin to get the smell of filth and salt water in your nostrils.
Mm,
Westgate.
I think you might be coming to a sewer.
Seattle alleyways.
You
All right.
will press on for a few
Yeah.
moments, and you will note that your natural tunnel dumps you out through a jagged hole in a broken sewer tunnel wall into a sewer system. The place where you emerge, the sewer is about 8 feet by 8 feet with a slim and slippery walkway. That's dry along the
And I'll
side.
take it.
Maybe,
That would
eight-
be waiting.
maybe 18 inches wide. There is a foul-smelling sludge, brown and green, flowing sluggishly along the channel. It is most definitely a combination of poo and salt water.
Right?
It assaults your senses. Has anyone ever been in a sewage treatment plant or something like that before? Eric, oh, why am I not surprised?
I mean, at the school
Oh.
field trip for science class, we drove around like between the treatment ponds, so
Yeah.
you don't get the like full. So, do any of the overprepared types have some kind of like antiseptic or something that we could like put to at least try to
I had a bottle of Purell.
that? Yeah, that.
No.
That wouldn't do it. I have masks. I hand out masks to everybody.
Okay.
How many do you have? What are you going to say that they are? And do you have enough for all the kids?
I think I had a pack of 10, so
Okay. So do you want to offer them to Oldor and May as well?
yes.
I mean,
Okay.
just,
I will demonstrate. I'll put one on.
just say it's for the odor.
It's for the odor.
She'll be somewhat confused as to why we're all suddenly bandits, but happy to give it a shot. You're doing her a favor, so she's happy to take whatever you decide you want to offer her.
They're just white KN95 masks.
It'll help a little. But whether that was the masks or just your senses burning out so that you can't really smell anymore, it's anyone's guess.
Just get used to the smell.
You just do. Like many things in life, you just get used to it. What's your rough marching order?
I'm in front with the sword ready.
Maybe
Allie,
Oldor and May
Allie said she
behind?
was taking up the rear.
Mhm.
And
That's cool.
May, Oldor, Joel, or maybe next. And then
Yep.
me and Randy can take babies before Allie.
Okay, babies before Allie. Got it. Check. All right. So you will move along. There'll be a couple of tense moments where the slipperiness factor of the sludge on the ledge will cause you to lose your footing, where you'll see something float by in the channel that could be a log or something else, where a half a dozen rats will scamper by over your feet as they're moving down the opposite direction of the corridor. But for the most part, you're moving without too much trouble and too much danger. You are going to stink. There is no way you are not going to stink. Just something to think about. After about 10 minutes, you'll pass into a larger section of sewer as you go through a junction, a four-way junction. And you're now in a 12 by 12 as opposed to 8 by 8 sewer section with your ledge about 24 inches wide. So you're feeling pretty good about that, even though slips are likely not to result in a slip and fall so much as just a slip. You'll begin passing storm drains and inflow pipes. And after about another 10 minutes, you'll arrive at a junction where she seems pretty happy that you've arrived at. She'll mutter a prayer of thanks. Someone is standing right next to her. That's Joel, right?
Mm-hmm. Do I
She
hear who
thank-
she thanks?
Yeah, she thanked Finder, Finder, whatever that is. Okay.
I know who that is. But, all right.
Because Joel heard it, I won't make the rest of the party roll for it because he can inform you later. But basically, she just thanked Finder for guiding her out of this place. She'll point across a 6-foot gap to a rung ladder that leads up and out of this sewer.
Oh God, ladders.
She'll say,
Uh-oh.
we're on the wrong side. Normally, I'd just leap across it. We could backtrack, but I don't really want to.
We're gonna have to wade through the sludge, aren't we?
How deep is the sludge?
How deep is the sludge?
I have something. I might be able to figure that out. She'll go back into that bag of hers again. What are you guys going to do?
How wide is the sludge?
The jump's about 6 feet. Closest corner to closest corner.
I'll think about that shield that gets formed and see if I can like create a shield across the sludge that we could walk across. Like,
So I'll ask you a question, Randy.
okay.
In order to do something like that, you'd need
Yeah.
to call upon the power of the mark. And
Okay.
so far, when you've done that, you've
Right.
caused the gems on 2 of the knuckles
Oh, yeah.
to go
alright.
dim. Is that something that you want to use that power for?
I don't know. It smells pretty bad, but I guess I'll wait and see what our
I mean,
options are.
so, not to be the one who's like, oh, it's so dirty, but we have to consider infection as far as Oldor. Like,
Yeah.
Us is one thing, and I guess he doesn't have an open wound, but like, he's not going to be able to move through it very easily. And so if there's I mean, it would probably be worse to go around for him, but like as far as thinking about problem solving, like that's what I think we should focus on as older.
Yeah. Is there a pole or like a long stick or something or a chain?
Funny you should mention that. Coming out from her bag, May has what looks like a folding ruler, but really what it is a sort of like stick about 12 inches folded against a stick about 12 inches folded against a stick about 12 inches. If you've ever been in the Aurora's Home Realms guide, there's an entry in there for this device, which is just basically an unfoldable pole. Begins unfolding it in an attempt to plumb the depths of the filth.
Okay. How deep does it appear to be?
About 4 feet.
How
If it were,
swiftly is it moving?
Sluggishly, where you
Sluggishly, you said.
if it were like 2 feet deep, I could
Yeah.
stand in the middle and help people like jump across. But if it's 4 feet deep, that even I, as tall as I am not going to be all that useful at that.
And if we drop the babies in it, I'm really worried about that too. So.
Yeah.
Some of you can jump.
Yeah, I can broad jump 6 feet, but
Yeah, I could probably
That-
jump across that, but
yeah.
Can we toss Oldar across though? That's the real question.
That seems
how's
unlikely.
How's Oldor looking?
He's recovered to the point where he's sweating profusely from the exertion of having to move, but he's using the side of the wall to stabilize himself, so he can now stand on his own 2 feet. He's not running any marathons, but he's also not dying.
Okay,
He can
so-
wade across. He's also over 6 feet tall. If you took, say, maybe 2 tall people and put them on either side of him, only 3 people would get covered in poo.
How long is the extendable, the unfoldable stick?
Would at least 10 feet. I wouldn't try to use it to carry any weight, though.
Okay, that was, okay.
All right. Well, we determined that his wounds were closed by the potion. So he doesn't have any open wounds.
Correct.
All right. Who else is real tall and wants to do this? Joel, how tall are you?
I'm about 5'10".
I'm 6 feet tall.
So you've lost one
Right.
jacket tonight. You're gunning for the rest of your outfit.
All
We're
right.
gonna need to replace our clothes at some point anyway, because it's
that's
only
true.
so much one outfit's gonna cover.
That's true.
I mean, really, if one person goes to the middle and then somebody just steps on your shoulder to go the rest of the way across, I mean, 2 3-foot
Yeah.
steps should be.
If
Do
you're
it.
All
running-
right. It'll be my turn this time. Okay. God, fuck. Oh, and there was my one for the stream. All right. I think it's appropriate.
Down into
Yeah.
nipple high.
I think it's
I'm willing to
appropriate.
give you that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's only fair because you got the shiny sword. So.
you know, Rhiannon.
That's fair.
Okay.
Oh, look at
Yeah.
me. Look at me. I'm chosen by a god. Look at me.
I wasn't bragging about it. I'm trying to survive, just like, oh, this is gross. All right.
You will ease
Don't think
yourself
about
into the poo, Eric. You will ease yourself in. It's cold. It's a cold. And it's just, please roll a 20-sided die. Remember how M really wanted you to spew? Here's your chance.
Thanks, Sam. I rolled an 8.
All right. So you will choke it down, buddy. You will not vomit into the sewer.
Threw
And
up
you
a
will
bunch in my
instead-
mouth right there.
Yeah,
you
you'll
want to get
instead.
that sewage dirty.
Randy, is there an appropriate song for this? I feel like there should be.
Oh, you'll have to give me a second to think.
Okay, he's thinking that through. Meanwhile, you, Eric, are helping everyone else across. There you go.
Wade in the
Eric?
shit. Wade in the shit. Wade in the shit. My friend.
There you go.
Yeah.
Really, I don't know if the fact that it's cold is better or worse. Like, I
Hard to
don't
say.
know.
Hard to say.
I
Well,
would say
you'll-
better.
after about 5 minutes, you'll make it across. So thank you, Eric, for your noble service in assisting all of the rest of the party to arrive mostly dry on the opposite side of Pooh Valley. May will scamper up the ladder to check the top. There is a rectangular, like manhole cover, for want of a better term, made of some metal that's beginning to rust, that she will shoulder open and sort of quickly look around before she pushes aside. She invites the rest of you to join her. Eric, you should probably go last.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go
Yeah.
ahead and head up.
Okay. You will scramble up and into a dead-end alleyway behind the backs of an assortment of townhouse buildings, sort of like a little square, little dead-end square, with garbage, chunks of wood, bugs, rats, everywhere. But the air is
Smells better.
clear. It's sea air. You can smell the harbor. And that is just such an amazing relief after where you've been for the last half an hour of your lives. The moon in the sky is starting to set. So it must be fairly late or fairly early, depending upon your perspective. You guys are a bit of a wreck. Some of you stink more than others. And so May will say, I think we may need to avoid the watch while we're making our way across town so that there aren't too many
Right.
questions.
Right.
Probably for the best. Yes.
The buildings around you are tall and close, and the street is dirt packed, but there's no signs of anyone down this dead-end alleyway. The only thing you can see in the corners of your vision are the glowing eyes of cats, observing you rather dispassionately from their perches around this alleyway. Would you, Rhiannon, like to attempt to call one over? Okay. Do you have any special catcalling skills I should be aware of? And yes, I realize that could be taken many different ways.
I mean, I've had a lot of practice with
Okay.
various cats that I've owned over time.
Are you offering anything beyond your own natural charm as an inducement?
Curiosity, you see. I'm
So
sort of
I'm-
presenting myself as something that they might like to investigate and sniff in a non-threatening manner, but mostly in a sort of like, hey, I'm kind of interesting. Hmm?
Okay.
Okay.
I see Allie has a cat on screen so that we have an appropriate representation of what we're doing here.
Yes.
Is anyone else either attempting to do something like this, watching to see what happens with Rhiannon, or are you all just sort of like, oh, let's gather together, let's get into a marching order, let's get to where we're going?
I think after having walked through the sewers and smelling and nearly at least encountering a vampire and some of us potentially risking having gotten eaten, I know for my part, I think I would just be like, I just wanna go somewhere.
Is there like a
rest.
piece of like kind of flat wood that Eric could like scrape off a little?
There are cleaner things in this alleyway than Eric, if that's what you're asking me.
I mean,
I'll wave at him and go, prestidigitation.
That will be a very dramatic gesture, which achieves no effect.
Ah, well, I tried it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Okay, so
This is
Eric,
a port city, right? Yes.
it is. It is a port city. Yes, somewhere around here there's a harbor.
Go jump in the harbor.
So
I'm
you
not sure it'll be
meanwhile-
much cleaner, but it'll be
Where do you
cleaner.
think the sewer empties?
Yeah, I know, right?
you get
So
it.
you'll attempt to take some of the more odorous chunks off of you. Everyone else is sort of forming up. Rhiannon, please roll twice sided die for me.
Ooh, that smell. Out of a song.
15.
These cats are fairly wary. They're not that interested. Maybe it's Eric that makes it so that they're really not interested in coming over to smell anything in your area. But you'll see that you got their attention. They look rough and tumble. These cats are alley cats, so they're thin. They've got bedraggled ears or missing portions of their tails. They're tough to be survivors on the streets of Westgate, especially with some of the things like what you encountered in the sewer or below the sewer wandering about these parts.
Mhm.
All right, you'll establish a rough marching order and make your way out onto the streets of this city. Yang Yang, there is a Westgate by night image, which is lurking behind me, which if you want to bring up some place for people to just sort of like have in the back of their minds as we're walking. This city is very European, I guess would be the best way to describe it, or Canadian, like a Montreal or a Quebec, for anyone who's been to one of those places. It's not very tall. The buildings are at most, 3-5 stories tall. The buildings are densely packed together. Streets are not terribly well organized. It has a very medieval feel to it, and it's fairly dark. That image has a lot of people on the street. There are not a lot of people on the street because it is the absolute middle of the night as you're emerging into this area.
Blessing and a curse.
It is. The streets here, you must be near a fairly big one because they're cobbled and they're fairly wide. There are lantern posts here and there with lamp lights hung from the lantern posts. And it looks like you're near the market, as there are an assortment of tents all folded and ready for tomorrow's midsummer festivities. There also are decorations all about, the most common of which are these paper lanterns, colorful paper lanterns, most of which are not lit up at this particular moment, but are strewn about in strings or one at a time all over the square, probably going to be in use tomorrow. You have a feeling that those are probably a sort of like Shao style and manufacture, but as I said, they're sort of omnipresent everywhere. There are not a lot of people on the streets, and those buildings that you can see sort of on the streets surrounding the somewhat triangular market square have their shutters down. They have these shutters that are designed to protect them against the elements and also perhaps predation from thieves. And there is a structure that dominates the market area, a tower in the center of it, with additional buildings that were cobbled together to be put against that tower. The tower appears to be at least 5 stories tall, and maybe a civic structure of some importance. She's trying to hustle you along to get you to move about as fast as you can. So there's not a lot of time for sightseeing, but I have to tell you, this is a pretty amazing sight. You were in a thorp, a hamlet a short while ago, which was itself impressive enough. You're in a city, a significantly sized city in the Forgotten Realms. So
amazing.
Yeah.
Man, I still feel like shit.
Well, you look like it too.
And
So
you
that's
smell
not-
I smell like it.
like it.
And you smell like
And I
it too.
sound like it? Okay, please get us to your friend.
Okay. So she'll begin guiding you. It's hard to tell what's north, south, east, and west around here, right? But if you're emerging near the market and the tower is to your right, she's taking you in the opposite direction of the tower, down a street. At the corner of that street, there is a impressive looking shop with a fairy fire lit sign with the squiggly letters that you can't see before, but it's got a sigil of some kind, fingers with what looks like magic erupting from them. So you would be shocked if it wasn't a wizard's shop of some sort. There is a raven theme that seems to repeat throughout the decor. Okay. That's on the corner.
My attention is captured by the raven theme and the all that. Because and again, I know me.
You will travel for about a block south, like left, right, away from the harbor. And you'll notice that in this big block of the city that you're encountering, there is a spired structure dominating the center of the city block. It's dark spired, looks kind of spooky, emerging from the center of that section. I know you guys have some familiarity with Westgate. So if there's something that you think you recognize, feel free to call it out, and I'll give you an opportunity to roll to determine whether or not it is what you think it is. But until then, I'm just going to roughly describe the buildings that you're passing. Fair?
Okay.
Okay. Your move into that block. As you do move down the street with that block on your right, you'll see another tower structure, which is again built something like a fortress. Sign out in front, very similar. It has a sigil, although it doesn't have hands. It has like a flaming gout coming forth from a single hand exposed. And this place has gargoyles all about it. And you'll notice that creepy thing where if you're looking at the gargoyle, it looks like it's looking at you, but it's stone, probably. But there are gargoyles festooned around it for decor purposes, at least a half a dozen. Again, that has to be a wizard residence or shop of some importance. That's on your left, as the block with the spired building is on your right. As you are coming to the end of that street, you will hear marching footsteps in the distance. What do you want to do?
I look at
What direction are they coming
May
from?
to be prompted.
If you're going south, they're coming north. You'll
Alright,
look
so
to
they're
May.
approaching us. Yeah.
Anybody else want to do anything?
I would look for a spot like that's out of the way that we can duck
Yep.
into.
Yeah, some
Mhm.
shadows, shadowy
Yeah,
alleyway.
because we
Or
were
an alley.
we
Yes,
wanted
that
to
could
avoid the
possibly go
watch.
wrong.
Yeah.
All right, so great minds think alike, because that's actually what she was planning on doing, was
Perfect.
plunging you into that block instead of moving along the street that it was on. And so when you all immediately look in that direction, she'll nod at you and you'll all get off the main road. You'll catch a glimpse of the patrol as it's moving, sort of enters into your line of sight right before you disappear into the side street that you're headed down. It appears to be headed by a man in plate mail armor, clearly having the symbol of tears, justice in the center of it. And then the rest of the soldiers, about a dozen or so, are dressed in leather armor with metal helms and pole arms. But again, you saw them. They didn't necessarily see you as you plunged down this alleyway.
And it probably smells real bad in this alley, so they probably won't come and investigate.
You're here, Eric. So yes, it does smell fairly bad in the alleyway.
Has
Hidden
everybody
advantage.
has everybody extinguished their marks?
Oh yes,
Wanna-
that's a
Yes.
thank you for helping the DM on that one too, Joel.
just
I
wanna-
assumed in my
I
own
assumed,
head
but-
that when you got
okay.
to the surface that you might have put
Yeah.
those out.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Joel, for pointing that out.
I'm just-
Don't need
Okay.
to like rave parade. doing
No,
like
that's a
little
good
things.
idea. Probably rave parades. Those come tomorrow. It's a holiday.
Like
All right. So you will hastily cross the street into that alleyway, deep into the block of town. This area of town is less illustrious than the area that you just left. Not that that one was wildly so. The shortcut you've been plunged down is in a somewhat decaying quarter of the city. The alley is wider, as if the buildings on each side of it didn't want to get too close to the greenish sewage that flows down the center of the lane, something akin to what Eric is wearing. The walls have been blackened by decades of grime and colored with graffiti. Any windows of doors that have once been open to the alley at ground level are walled over with mismatched stone, only slightly discrusted from the surrounding stonework. So you're in that quarter, which is a somewhat spooky one, moving quietly along. It's dark, it's shadowed, it's boarded up tight. It has decor, it's just significantly poorer than the rest.
I would like to say quietly to May, does it make sense to get back on the other road once the patrol passes?
Yes, we have to get through this across Tanaga Way.
Right.
Right. Okay. So you'll move. The spired building is sort of sliding now so that it's been on your right and it's now behind you as you're starting to leave this portion of the city, and you are about to cross a larger road when, could you all roll percentile dice for me?
okay.
06.
13. Wow.
31.
Rolling low.
82.
Who rolled the 82, Allie?
Yep, 82.
And Randy?
A 3.
3. Okay, so yeah, that's actually a pretty decent number of low rolls. The only people that will hear this, though, are Joel, Randy, and Eric. Rhiannon and Allie will not.
Okay.
Was that a choked off like scream of pain? Almost as if someone had been struck. There was an alley you just passed 30, 40 feet back. You didn't see anything in it when you were going along it, but then you were kind of on the opposite side of the... Eric, the hairs on the back of your neck will prick up.
Oh, yes, I sense injustice that needs to be smitten.
No, we
No.
don't have
No.
not our problem.
And on that note, we'll take our first break.
All right, don't go away. We'll be right back.